although we've had a really cold, wet spring this year, still plenty of time to get everything planted. So I've got a lot of gardeners that are coming in wondering if it's okay to plant peas or okay to plant lettuce, because it's you know, been an unusual year. We haven't been able to plant them at the normal times that we usually plant those things, and we've got plenty of time to plant everything still. So May is an excellent time to get outside and plant all your vegetables, so it's definitely not too late, and we've got time to plant just about everything that's out there. But I've got a couple different things that perfect time to get outside and get planted. A lot of vegetables that really love to get out there in the garden and enjoy, and we can get those planted right now. So potatoes, got a great selection of potatoes in stock. We've got about 8 different varieties, and the potatoes, so easy to plant, just a great producer. I always have gardeners that come in that are wondering how to plant their potatoes. So usually we'll take a potato like this, we'll cut it up into pieces. You can cut a potato like this, or even a larger potato, into smaller chunks so that you have an eye or two on each piece. So you're looking for the eyes on the potatoes, and we're going to cut those potatoes up so that you have an eye or two on each piece. And a potato this size you can definitely cut in half, so there's eyes on both ends, so we could cut that potato in half without any trouble, and you've got eyes on each piece. We could cut that into thirds. I don't know if I'd go as small as quarters, but that'll work out just great. You can cut those potatoes up. Usually what I like to do is, after I've cut my potatoes, let them sit overnight and let them heal just a little bit. Just by letting them sit overnight, they'll kind of form a surface over the cut, and it'll kind of protect the cut a little bit. If you've had problems with diseases, you can put a little bit of fungicide, like a little bit of Captan, on the potatoes and treat those potatoes before you plant them. But then when we get ready to plant, what we'll do is we'll dig our hole about, say 6 inches deep. And at the bottom of that hole, we love to put a little fertilizer down in there. And one of our favorites is the bone meal. Bone meal is a natural, all-organic fertilizer. It's very high in phosphorus. And if you look on the back here on the analysis of the fertilizer, it's a 0-10-0 fertilizer. That's a phosphorus, that 10% right there. And this is a very slow-release phosphorus fertilizer. We'll put a tablespoon of the bone meal right in the bottom of the hole. And you don't even have to work it into the soil. You can just dump that down the bottom of the hole, put your potato in there. It's best if the potato goes down with the eyes up, but my kids help plant all the time. Sometimes it lands in the hole like that. Those sprouts will find their way up to the surface. So it's best if the eyes are up, but it's not a really big deal if it doesn't work out that way. And then about 6 inches deep, 12 inches apart, and within a couple of months you'll have potatoes just going like crazy. And May, first part of June, great time to plant your potatoes, and they'll go like crazy. They'll be ready about the latter part of July, first part of August to start eating, and we like to get those harvested by about the first part of September. We also have a lot of great asparagus plants, and asparagus roots look just like that. They kind of look like an octopus, and we do them kind of similar to the potatoes, but we'll dig a trench about 10 inches deep instead of the 6. We'll do about 10 inches deep, and we'll try and lay the asparagus down in the bottom of the trenches. Don't try and spread the roots out and plant them like that. Just leave the roots just the way they are, and just plant them in the bottom of the trench just like that. Again, the bone meal is an excellent fertilizer to put down in the bottom of the trench. We'll usually put that bone meal right down the bottom of the trench, kind of work it into the soil a little bit. Plant your asparagus, and they come in bundles of 25. You want to do at least 25 if you want a good asparagus patch. And then what we'll do is, after we get the asparagus down in the bottom of the trench, we'll only cover them up with about 3 inches of soil. Remember, our trench is about 10 inches deep. We're only going to cover them up with about 3 and let those sprouts come up through. They'll come up through the soil. Then you can cover them up another 3 inches, let them come up through that, and then cover them up the rest of the way. So don't cover them up completely when you're planting. Asparagus like full sun, they like well-drained soil, and they like a good water source as well too. So try and plan ahead if you're going to be planting asparagus. We've got a great supply of asparagus in stock right now, and it's an excellent time to get out there and plant them. We also have lots of strawberry plants, and this is a bundle of about 25 strawberry plants. This is a variety called Fort Laramie, which is a great ever-bearing variety of strawberries. And you just pull those plants apart, and there's your root system on your strawberry right there. And what we're going to do with the strawberries is plant them about every 12 inches, and you can kind of dig a little trench, or you can just make little individual holes, but you really want the soil to be right up to the crown, about right there on the strawberries. So as you're planting them, those crowns should be sticking up out of the soil. If this is the soil, they'd be sticking up out of the soil about that far, and they they just take off like crazy. The strawberries are very hardy. They can handle a cold. They can handle whatever Mother Nature throws at them. But when we get those planted, we definitely like to fertilize them and water them with a root stimulator as well too. So here's Fertilum's root stimulator. Now the root stimulator has a mild fertilizer and a rooting hormone in there, and it will be a great way to get the strawberries established quicker, and also to give just a little bit of fertilizer to get going. But that root stimulator will encourage some root development, get those plants to take off and get going. And then once they get established, we'll use our tomato and vegetable food on the strawberries. That's great for tomatoes, it's great for the potatoes, it's good for all your vegetables. It's a higher phosphorus fertilizer, breaks down very gradually over about 2 months. This will cover about 1,000 square feet, and the tomato and vegetable food from Fertilum is just a great way to fertilize individual plants, or just do right down the rows instead of having to fertilize your whole garden. And it'll be great for all kinds of plants, especially tomatoes, peppers, you name it, all your vegetables. It'll work out great. And good time to get outside and start getting all your vegetable and fruit plants planted as the weather is cooperative. Come in, we'll get you taken care of.